And we are nearing the end now, so we may listen to these final cardinals take their oath and maybe just remind everyone, Monsignor, about the Sistine Chapel, of course also known as the Pope's Chapel.
Yes, the Great Chapel. The Way of Beauty is another name given to the Sistine Chapel. Just those beautiful windows with the first 30 popes looking down now upon these cardinals so that a new pope emerges. It is a sign that there is an unbroken tradition, flanked by scenes from the life of Jesus at the very center. Jesus who gives Peter the keys. This is what this conclave is all about. Cardinal Ray said that this morning. Who are we going to place these keys? In whose hands are we going to place these keys? And as we end now, these cardinals, the cardinal from St. Mary Major, just coming forward, he's very young, 52 years old.
And where Francis is buried.
Yes. Just behind him is Timothy Radcliffe, the Dominican. We were talking earlier about what cardinals might wear, and you'll see that he is in a white habit. He was a former head of the Dominican order, former master of the Dominican order, made cardinal by Pope Francis. And then bringing up the rear, you'll see the Syro-Malabar Catholic from India in black.
And let's just listen in.
Et ego, Fabius cardinalis Baggio spondeo, voveo acciuro, sic me Deus adiuvet, et ec sancte Dei Evangelia que manu mea tango.
Et ego, Georgium cardinalis cuvacad, spondeo voveo acciuro, sic me Deus adiuvet, et ec sancta Dei Evangelia que manu mea tango.
Extra omnes.
Who's clapping, right?
And there you hear that extra omnes, and the clapping is from people in
the square,
in St. Peter's Square, because they're watching on those large television screens, and translated in Latin.
Oof, here we
they're
go.
saying, John,
everybody out. And here they go. They are walking out.
Which is not quite true, because in fact 2 will remain in the chapel now. We will have Cardinal Cantalamessa, who is 90 years old. He used to be the papal preacher. He will now give a spiritual reflection to the 133 electors. The final marching orders, we could say, and Archbishop Ravelli, the Master of Ceremonies, will remain with him. And once that finishes, it really will be extra omnes. What an important spiritual job there, that final reflection for the room. I suppose he hasn't shared a copy of his remarks with the press?
Well, Cantalamessa is a historic man who gives often Lenten retreats and preaches to the papal household, preaches at the Vatican. So he is well capable of giving this talk. He is very well respected, a Franciscan who has a lot of experience in giving these kind of reflections at such an important time.
What happens now, John?
Well, so as Monsignor Tony said, the cardinals are now going to hear this reflection from Father Cantalamessa. Footnote, his name means sing the Mass in Italian, member of the Capuchin order. And then when that happens, then they will begin, the actual nuts and bolts of the conclave begins. Of course, tonight, they will have their first ballot, and this is really the first show of strength. I mean, up to this point, it's all been speculation and hypothesis. This is really the first moment where it gets real.
And let's talk about that, because this first vote matters, right? It gives a sense of where the cardinals are, what they're thinking.
It's really interesting. Pope Francis actually described it as a courtesy vote. Interestingly enough, in some ways, the cardinals do vote for their friends, maybe a cardinal whom they admire, but some strong candidates do begin to emerge. In 2005, when Pope Benedict was elected, the first round, he received 48 votes, and he always remained top of the list. In the 2013 election, Pope Francis received 26 votes. The only one that beat him was 30 votes. After extra omnes,
Monsignor, here we go.
The doors are closed. Extra omnes.
Wow.
Everyone out.
Listen.
And people in the square are applauding because they know this means we are one step closer to having a new pope.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did get the chills.
Yeah, you got the chills as well. After so many days of mourning the loss of Pope Francis, there's now this moment of tremendous excitement that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but very soon those doors will open and there will be a new pope.
And there's been some discussion about that, Delia, right, in terms of this first vote, just following on what the Monsignor said, that if the Secretary of State, the second in command at the Vatican here, Pietro Parolin, gets some 50 votes, which we won't know, again, it's in secret, then that...
Well, somehow the Monsignor seems to know after the fact. So
right, we may know later on. We may know later on. Could that signal then that he may be able to move this forward?
Oh, absolutely. Tonight is the ballot to sort of see where the lay of the land is. And it's an opportunity for everybody to do it once, because it's quite complex, all of the little steps you have to do. And I think it's also an opportunity for each cardinal to really maybe write down the name of the person they really want, because then, you know, they have to swear in front of God. So maybe they are kind of in their conscience saying, well, okay, I'll vote for Parolin tomorrow, but tonight I'm writing the one I really think should be. So I think there's just a bit of getting into the balloting, and yes, getting an idea of who are the front runners.
But Cardinal Parolin could also be a victim of inflated expectations on this first ballot, because it has been widely reported in the Italian press that he's got something on the order of 50 votes. If he gets 25, that's a good showing on the first ballot, but measured against expectations, it would seem like a disappointment, and people might artificially abandon his candidacy. So we'll have to see.
I do have to bring us back. Those cardinals are going to go before the fresco and are going to say these very significant words: I call as my witness Christ the Lord, who will be my judge, that my vote is given to the one who before God I think should be supreme pontiff. So at the end of the day, they are not answering to the press corps, they're answering to God, before whom everything is laid bare.